External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar today said there has been some progress with China on the boundary issue. He added that approximately 75% of the disengagement problem has been resolved. Jaishankar, who's in Geneva, Switzerland for bilateral meetings, made this statement at an interactive session at the Global Center for Security Policy, an independent think tank. The minister said the bigger issue has been the increasing militarization of the frontier. He added the Galwan Valley clashes of June 2020 affected the entirety of India-China ties, asserting that one cannot have violence at the border and then say the rest of the relationship is insulated from it. Negotiations are going on. We made some progress. I would say roughly, you can say about 75% of the disengagement problems are sorted out. We still have some things to do. Jaishankar added, we hope that if there is a solution to the disengagement and there is a return to peace and tranquility, then we can look at other possibilities. The basis for a good relationship, I would say, even for a normal relationship, is that there would be peace and tranquility at the border. After things started to take a better turn in 1988, we had a series of agreements which stabilized the border. That's what the minister said. Now, ties between India and China have been at an all-time low as the militaries of the two countries have been standing their ground since that standoff in Ladakh began in May of 2020. The disengagement process began in February 2021 and has been on since then. Jaishankar is scheduled to meet Chinese Foreign Minister Wang during this visit to Switzerland. Talks at both the diplomatic and military levels between India and China have been held on an ongoing basis. Partial disengagement from Galwan, Hot Springs and Gogra happened in July 2020 and full disengagement from Pangong Lake North and South banks took place in February 2021. However, Chinese soldiers are firmly entrenched in the Depsang Plains in northeastern Ladakh and showing no signs of moving. The line of actual control between India and China, including China-occupied Tibet, is around 3,500 kilometers long. India has maintained that its ties with China cannot be normalized unless there is peace in the border areas. Speaking about how China unilaterally changed the status quo along the line of actual control, Jaishankar said today what happened in 2020 was in violation of multiple agreements for some reasons which are still not entirely clear to us. We can speculate on it. The Chinese actually moved a very large number of troops to the LAC at the border, and naturally in response, we moved our troops up. It was very difficult for us because we were in the middle of a COVID lockdown at that time. Describing the development as very dangerous and referring to the Galwan clashes, Jaishankar said we could see straight away that this was a very dangerous development because the presence of a large number of troops at these extreme heights and in extreme cold in near proximity could lead to a mishap, and that's exactly what happened. We have now been negotiating for close to 4 years, and the first step of that is what we call disengagement, which is their troops go back to their normal operating bases and our troops go back to their normal operating bases, and where required, we have an arrangement on patrolling because both of us patrol regularly in the border area. It is not a legally delineated border, said Jaishankar.
So we've been negotiating now for close to 4 years. And the first step of that is what we call disengagement, which is that their troops go back to their normal operating bases and our troops go back to our normal operating bases. And where required, we have an arrangement about patrolling, because both of us patrol regularly in that border, because, as I said, it's not a legally delineated border. Those negotiations are going on. We made some progress. I would say roughly, you can say about 75% of the disengagement problems are sorted out. We still have some things to do, but there's a bigger issue that, if both of us have brought forces close up, and in that sense, there's the level of militarization of the border has increased. How does one deal with it? I think we have to deal with it. But in the meanwhile, after the clash, it has affected actually the entirety of the relationship, because you can't have violence on the border and then say the rest of the relationship is insulated from it. So trade has got affected, and the exchanges have got affected. So it is not normal, I mean, to put it very politely. We hope that if there is a solution to the disengagement and there is a return to peace and tranquility, then we can look at other possibilities. So that is the immediate issue. But I think there are larger issues in respect of India-China. We have long struggled with the trade issue. I've been ambassador in China, so I can tell you from my time there. that we are talking, 15 years ago, that we feel that the economic relationship with China has been very unfair, it has been very imbalanced, that we don't have the market access there. They have much better market access in India. We have concerns today, again, this is autonomous of the border situation, in various areas, technology, in telecom, in digital, and those are issues. And now, as you've said, we also do monitor very carefully what happens in the Indian Ocean.